we can't even get full information from what's going on because they think that this is just the level of suppression that's going on. So what happened in 2008 was that there was a host of electoral irregularities. Some of these were in third-party advertising, where it was additional funding being secured to third-party advertisers that were supposed to be arm's length from the campaign team. And there was also the RoboCall that went out on the night before the election, urging voters to vote for a candidate that was no longer standing.
Shame!
So when you look at the collection of irregularities that went on around that election, you begin to see a pattern. And so when we put together a complaint for that election, we sent it to Elections Canada in February of 2009. Nothing was done. We were sent a letter probably about a month later saying the investigator couldn't find that anybody had been influenced by that vote, therefore the investigation was closed. And since then, there's been probably some of our top-notch democracy advocates following this issue. Doug Conacher of Democracy Watch. We've had Andrew McLeod of the Tyee, who is following this issue very carefully and has done a lot of investigative work. We went to the press and we said, this is a problem. We had academics from the University of Victoria stating, this isn't just a case of spoofing. This is a very irregular activity and this needs to be watched. And it's going to be a threat to democracy if this continues. And if it isn't investigated, there'll be a very strong signal that's sent out that says this kind of activity is okay.
No!
And it's not.
No.
So when we took it to election, we took our complaint back to Election Canada and said that you must investigate this RoboCall. Nothing was done. There was NDP candidates back in Ottawa, MPs back in Canada that challenged and said Jerry Line must step down until the investigation was carried out. It was ignored. Elections Canada ignored all the requests to investigate, not just the robocall, but the tweeted calls. We've had people like Will Horner from the Dogwood Initiative who said if this particular robocall technique is investigated, we're going to end up with a very serious problem in the next election. Well, we did end up with a very serious problem. Elections Canada still hasn't addressed the 2008 election, and I think that we really need to question whether this institution is actually able to investigate it. That's why I think this is an incredibly serious matter, and I'm really happy with it.
Woo!
Well, thanks for putting this together, Jocelyn. When I got an email asking to speak here, she had sent me an email saying that I'm just the cleaning lady who's really upset with Harper. I don't know how to organize these things. It's come together very, very well. So thanks for that. So yeah, the reason I'm speaking today is because I actually have set up a new organization that is going to be working on increasingly issues of democracy, certainly supporting the fight for democracy in Canada. My new organization, Majority for a Sustainable Society, is going to focus this year mainly on climate change issues, but it's all related. A Harper majority government is going to spell a disaster for the world's climate, certainly Canada's contribution, and for social justice. So this is a fundamentally important issue. This is not an issue regarding any allegation of criminal activity or fraud. This is about the government potentially stealing the last election into majority territory when otherwise you would have been in minority territory. Yep. It gets to the heart of what... So there's several key things I just wanted to quickly point out. One of them is the term RoboCall. I think that's a misnomer. I think it's a term that people don't get, and it misses the mark. So So essentially, when people scan the headlines and they see robocalls, it looks like RoboCop or something. Your eyes glance over and it doesn't look like something very significant. This is about electoral fraud calls.
Yeah.
The way this whole thing is explained is the benefit of the Conservative Party. If you look at the last poll, you still have about half of Canadians thinking that the Conservatives weren't really involved, not really understanding this issue at all. If you really look at the facts of the issue, it's clear that these calls on a large scale in the hundreds of thousands, potentially millions, were there to benefit the Conservative Party. There's no smoking gun yet in most cases. Now it's getting closer in the riding of Guelph. I believe in Thunder Bay they're also being investigated. But the point being here is that this is one of the most serious things that could ever happen in the country. It's the government stealing an election. Stephen Harper has been bringing Russian-style politics into Canada. And this is the sort of thing that we have to get the ball rolling on. So we can treat the movement of involved people, including cleaning the piss off at Harper and all types of people. So if you look at the facts of what's going on, this definitely fits into the pattern of what the Harper government has been about since 2006. It's a government that moves forward first towards power. It's a power first method of campaigning and deal with the consequences later. Once they seize the resources of the state, then they're better positioned to ride out the turmoil that happens as a result of unethical and, in many cases, illegal activities. Yep. We know that this government here is being found in contempt of Parliament for the Bev Otis scandal for lying. Documentation for their budget. This is the first government that fell as a result of the contempt of Parliament. They prorogued Parliament twice, shut down Parliament twice. First time to avoid a non-confidence vote. Second time to avoid the inquiry on the torture of Afghan detainees. List them all. There's a lot of craziness going on. A lack of democracy, a contempt for democracy of this government. It's sort of like a pack of hyenas without ethics. So there's no smoking gun yet, but if you look at the facts here, in over 50 ridings, there were large-scale calls that were done, not just robocalls, but also live calls from people pretending to be from the federal Liberal Party, harassing likely Liberal voters with very annoying calls late at night or early in the morning, or just being annoying, and as well as calls that were directing people to the wrong voting station. That's a criminal activity. So far, Elections Canada is only investigating these 2 ridings out of 50 ridings where these complaints have been registered. We need Elections Canada to step it up. We need the RCMP to step it up. And we certainly need a full public independent So my main thing here is that we need to reframe this issue into an issue of electoral fraud. These are electoral fraud calls, they're not RoboCall calls. That's not the issue. We need to build a growing movement because Harper's basic thinking is that we're going to ride this out. We're going to deny, we're going to divert, we're going to deflect this issue, and eventually the public's going to forget. Yep. This is got to be the albatross that goes around his neck all the way until election time. So thanks for putting it together on just a few days' notice. Very impressive what you've done here. Thank you. Hi.
Good afternoon. I actually think we should have a prize for the best sign. That one definitely gets my vote over there, I gotta tell you. My name is Paul Somerville, and like most of you, I'm a private citizen. And I've been asked by the federal Liberals of Victoria to come and say a few words. And I want to start by saying that today I don't speak for anyone, because today we are all Canadians. rally. I'm heartened that so many people of different backgrounds, political persuasions, and incomes have come here today to defend Canadian democracy. And the legacy of hundreds of years of Canadian democracy, on the whole, has made Canada the empathetic, inclusive, and wealthy country that it is. So our defense is terribly important to our futures. I'm saddened by the fact that we're here once again because of mounting evidence of a diminished democracy. A democracy that's being diminished by a mean, narrow, vindictive, relentless, and that was the whole idea. Shout him out. Like my ears, I heard
Yes.
and perhaps, you got me, and perhaps illegal politics. What perhaps it is. That's the rule. Yeah. I saw this other sign too. I'm not sure about that one, I gotta tell you.
Put him in jail and give him some room.
What's the evidence? And some of us have mentioned here today. The in-and-out scandal, proroguing Parliament, sacking the Senate. The evidence is in the court. The evidence is powerful, and I'm also saddened by the fact that the democracy that we're here today to defend is getting in the way of more important issues that define Canadians. Defending our justice system, investing in education, health care, defending our environment, increasing the economy. And by polluting our political conversation and diminishing our democracy, it's more difficult to attend to these great issues of our time. Yep. Yeah, exactly. But there is hope. There is hope that through our institutions and us, that together we can defend our democracy with a robust vigilance. We require a robust vigilance because that's our job as our citizens. But we also have to have trust in our institutions that the guilty will be identified, will be charged, and will be punished. I think Canadians on the whole understand that what has happened is so totally not okay. And that with passion and with discipline, the guilty will be found and punished, and together we can make Canada greater.
Okay, we also have Rose Henry on the schedule, and she will be getting here as soon as she's available. She's working today and agreed to somehow get here anyway, so we will just accommodate her when she gets here. Being new at this, I forgot to say that I make the acknowledgement out of respect to the Coast Salish people that I'm on the So I'm hoping to move the discussion until Rose gets here. We have a speaker, Mr. Rob Duncan, who is going to discuss alternatives and routes to the community. Afterwards, if anybody is working on this issue or has mobilized, please come on up and announce where you are if you want help. And here's Mr. Duncan.
I just wanted to give us a good opportunity to mention that there are alternatives to all this electoral nonsense in the first place. I saw in the Occupy movement that there's a great deal of dissatisfaction with the electoral system. I think that's obvious that it's true in the general population too when you consider turnout rates for elections and that sort of thing, around between 20% alternatives. In the Occupied movement, a lot of people would prefer some sort of direct democracy system, but I mean, I kind of like that idea too, except that it requires that everybody's going to vote on every issue all the time. You know, every issue that comes up, everybody votes on it, which means that everybody has to be informed about all the issues all the time. Everyone has to maintain a high level of detailed knowledge about all the issues. That's problematic, I mean, especially when you see how hard it is to get people to just vote once every 4 years, right? The alternative is just to, the alternative is something that's known as autocracy or demarchy. It involves randomly selecting representatives. It's a form of representative democracy, but it does away with elections. Instead, representatives are randomly selected from the population. They're selected using the same types of methods that polling companies use to select the samples that they construct to predict the outcome of national elections. They do this with incredible accuracy based on samples of as small as 300 people, more often maybe 500 or 1,000, but amazingly small samples. Through using these randomization methods, they can get a representative sample, which is representative of the entire populace, apparently, the entire electorate. Far more representative than any elected body could ever possibly be when you consider all the distortions that go into elections. Election outcomes are distorted by, mainly by money. I mean, that's the big one, right? Campaign financing and also, policy decisions are distorted after the outcome of the election by lobbying and that sort of thing. Party financing, all those are distorting influences, in my opinion. They distort policy outcomes. Another kind of distorting influence is the influence of personality. I mean, what possible relevance does one individual's charisma or lack of charisma have on policy decisions? It has absolutely none. It's just a hang-up that people have about cult of personality in politics. My suggestion is that we should do away with all that sort of thing just by moving to a random selection system and doing one of the elections altogether.
I think we did that, didn't we?
The random selection part's not in place at all, no. It does seem like we've moved away from the relevance of elections. So yeah. But I don't know, I guess, people are really, I've talking to people that they're really attached to this idea of elections. And a lot of people seem to have the idea that elections and democracy are the same thing, one and the same thing. I just wanted to point out that there are alternatives to elections. There are representatives of, it's possible to have a representative democracy system which doesn't involve elections, non-electoral representative democracy.
I like elections. I want free fair elections.
Free fair elections.
Some people are really attached to elections.
If I want a plumber, I hire a plumber.
Trying to look at options and whatnot, and thank you, Rob. I haven't seen Rose here yet. So, if I would like to thank our speakers, Briony Pan,
Do you want to hold this for a second?
Paul Somerville, and Lou. If people would like to stay and have discussions, any at work, we would love that. By elections, call Elections Canada. Thanks everybody, the people of Victoria, make this happen.
Everyone, I just wanted to say a quick thing, just to remind everyone how remarkably close we are to toppling this majority government. There's only a 6-seat majority, and I believe so far that the robocalls and this thing has been come down to about 12 different ridings. So if we can get by-elections in all those ridings, I'm sure. Part of one thing we're planning for this period, I know there's some other people working on things too, but we were talking about having a meeting to see about getting a by-election in our local Senate Gulf Island region this Tuesday. If you're available at the Community of Christ Church, which is 495
East.
Burnside East.
But she's not Elizabeth. I like her. Yeah.
What's the way to get? Let's get the point is we have to create, how do we get the by-elections in the areas we want? In the areas that have been seeded, whether it was 2008, we still need an investigation for this 2008, and we need to have Electoral, Election Canada held accountable for what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'd like to talk about that this Tuesday. That's where we'd like to meet.
Where?
The 495 East Burnside, and we'll be, I know, on the People's Assembly of Victoria, which is the name given to our Occupy Victoria movement. We're going to be updating our website regularly, so it's PAOV.ca, the People's Assembly of Victoria. What time was Tuesday?
2 o'clock.
6?
Oh, no, 6.
6 on Tuesday, and we'll probably go till 9 or later, because I'm sure we've got lots to share. All right? Go on to 6.
Anybody else like to announce projects that they're working on or projects that they're thinking of?
Well done, sir.
Love to hear from you. Let's be community and work this. We got to work when we leave. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
I live in Calgary, but I believe in peace. Yes. All around the world, I speak 7 languages. Je parle français, pas forcément. Parce que je suis Canadien. J'ai été les États-Unis, je suis en opposition. Parce que je suis à la vie.
He may have folded a francophone.
Parce que je suis Canadien. Seulement je te dis, je suis Gustavo Adolfo Guerrero Hassan.
Great job.
And I put all my efforts. I have 5 foundations in Colombia. Shakira has 1. I am member of Barranquilla Ciro Libanese Society. Only are doing things that the other push era. They kill coffee, flowers, everything from my country. This is because I became Canadian. They offer me many times, because I speak English very well when I want. And many times, my wife, she's a lawyer, intellectual property lawyer for Honeywell. I am really intelligent. My father was general. I know what they mean in democracy, because here in Calgary, in Canada, BC that I love, along with this, I saw many poor people on the street. I come in right now from Victoria. I see many of the people that is belong this land. Who is belong this land? The Indians. The people that teach us. This. Yes. I get so excited. I finish with this. I'm from the city. On France, activons niveau 1. Ça, il m'a dit, avec le German, we make the revolution. The green power. Now see all around the world. Because if I can speak 7 languages, I can open many, many kingdoms.
Thank you, sir. There are many languages in this country, and we got to speak in them all to get this whole thing done. Okay, a few people may have announcements that they can just maybe come over to the side, and we'll do things in order as to how we run. 2 minutes each, John.
Yeah. That's okay. I don't know. Press the button.
Speak louder.
On March
Just.
22nd, we, the Green Party Club, are putting on a panel discussion on the proposed Enbridge pipeline for the oil to China. It is at 7 p.m. until about 10 p.m. in the David Lab Auditorium in the Foreign Building at UVic. The speakers are FD of Salt Island, Elizabeth May, Terry Gladman, and Emma Pullman, both highly acclaimed journalists from covering the event. So it's open to the public. It's by donation or free to use. So I'd love to see all of you out there join the discussion. You can find it on Facebook. We'll follow Gary's Facebook on Twitter. And, yeah. March 22nd. Thank you so much. We've been investigating and working on.
Shortly, I've done a speaker for environment for about 30 years. I'm still confused. I'm very impressed with so many people here today. But in regard to practical solutions, there's only three things I found in those 30 years: is medical marijuana, family justice, and housing cooperatives. If we want a better society, a better wealth, we need our ill and our wounded people to get their medicine right. That is all to support the medical marijuana movement. If any of you are concerned, support the medical marijuana movement in all the ways we can. And in regard to family justice, this is a very controversial issue, but I suggest we address family justice as well in any way possible we can. Because if our family is being randomly destroyed by those law legislators and crazy courts, then we will have homelessness and poverty and addiction and murder and crimes and suicide and depression. It's like that we have failed that police brutality that we have those in society. So we need family justice to get a better wealth. And in regard with poverty also, I wish we all lived in housing cooperatives. Where we all own our garden and our fruit trees, and we all care for each other. And I want to add three short things in regard with the environment. The only three practical solutions I found as well is to replant trees. We have to replant trees. This is essential. And reduce, reuse, recycle, obviously. The reduce, reuse, and recycle, yeah. And the third one I want to add is that to re-empower ourselves is essential. If we ask the government to resolve a problem, we make ourselves slaves of them again. So we need to re-empower ourselves, which is what I heard through the years means to grow your own food, care for your own self and for each other in every possible way to handle the least work and money to obtain what we need to live anyway. So if we re-empower ourselves, then we will stand free again, my friends. Blessings. Thank you, sir, for addressing the important issue of poverty right here in our neighborhood, as well as the fact that we need new elections because people in poverty are disadvantaged to vote if they don't have homes and if they don't have their ID, and this is not an equal society in that way. So do what you can for your neighborhood while we're dealing with elections in Canada. Would anybody else like to come up?
Yeah, Manda.
Yep.
Yeah, let him go ahead first.
Hey guys. So I just wanted to give you all the heads up for an event coming up on the 24th of March. There is going to be an informative pipeline being run through the downtown area in opposition to the Enbridge or the second bridge. So I encourage you all to take a stroll when that's going on, kind of find it, and make your voice known. And if you're not educated on it, educate yourself on it, because there's going to be some information and stuff on there. And then on the 7th of April, we're having a large rally, hopefully much larger than this one, here, there, everywhere.
Rob. Rob. Hey, Rob. What is the Facebook group for the Enrich? Rise up against Enbridge. April 7th. And yeah, definitely rise up against Enbridge. It is so scary. Definitely need to put everything we have behind this pipeline to stop it from going through because it cannot happen. This goes far too fragile for something of that size to come through here, and it just devastates the livelihood of so many people. It makes no sense. I don't need to talk to you about that. We all know, but please participate. And yeah, thank you. Hello. All right. My name is Mundafar. I come from Montreal. And for the last 3 years, I've been going coast to coast, ocean to ocean, city to city, living and getting down with the street people because I see it as a reasonably growing number, basically. I was on the streets as a kid. I'm one of those success stories that got off the street, and now I'm trying to get back. And for the past 3 years, we've been building a project called We the Sheep People. That's us. Now, we're a collaborative of artists, basically. We've got together with activists. We've got together with local farmers, organic farmers. We've got together with different artists of every single type you can possibly find to try to educate people on the hunger situation in Canada. Right now, we have about a 30th of our population that cannot feed their families every single day, and they depend on the food banks to do it. What's in those food banks? Chemical-filled food. Now, if we can actually get good food into the food bank by everybody getting together, tell your neighbors, get everybody involved. Every square inch of grass you see in front of you is absolutely useless. This grass was genetically made so that it can look nice. We can't even feed animals with this grass. Now, if everybody can get together and start teaching people, workshopping, and showing that there's an alternative, that 1/30th of our population, that's 1 in 30 people here, can't feed their families. And by getting together and everybody teaching each other the importance of good food, we will not survive as a species in the future. The whole situation regarding how food is grown right now, if that crashes, and we know it will, we're all screwed. How are you going to feed your family if you can't buy it in the store? How are you going to feed your family if bread is $10 a loaf? Because that's what it's becoming. You know, bread is a great example. Whether it's 2 cents or 3 cents to make that loaf of bread. How much you pay at the store for your bread? You pay 200%, 500%, 1,000% more than what it's actually worth to me. We can all help each other. So We the Sheep People is basically all about that. Teaching people the importance of our food supply, getting together through all our art and entertainment. We're an edutainment movement for the food revolution. And we need all your help. If I can get 1% of the 99% on my side in Canada, we can change this place. One by one law at a time. Get the government and all this RoboCall and Harper and all of this bullshit, as I like to put it, real plain and simple, basically it's going to stop us from surviving in the future. We got to get this man out of here. Thank you very much. Please approach these gentlemen. If you would like to help girl, please. Awesome, lady. Is there any other community-related announcements? Okay, and then we'll have the final speaker when announcements are done.
Just Liam for Super Quick here. My name's Liam Hildebrand, and I'm from socialcoast.org. We're a hub for people to take action on social and environmental issues in Victoria. So if you want to just stay in the loop on what's going on in Victoria, we have the most comprehensive event calendar and database of organizations doing good work. And we focus on one campaign every couple months. So our campaign this month is Community Includes Everyone. And you can learn more on the website if you're interested. And yeah, let's just all get together. And we're power in numbers. So let's change the world. Go get her. Change the world.
Okay, any other community announcements?
Chilly here at the shade, eh?
Hi there. My name is William Schlumpka, and I'd just like to tell you one thing really quickly. I'm really happy to see this many people coming out. It's sad to me to see this group getting smaller and smaller as we go, but it is kind of chilly. With that in mind, democracy is not a right. Democracy is a privilege that we all share, and if you don't stand up for it, you don't continue to work for it, it will go away. The reason we're here is we're trying to fight for it. So don't let it stop here. If you want a community event, if you want to have a real thing, an actual movement, talk about it in the street. Get yourself informed and inform others. That's the only way we're really going to see any kind of change. Thank you. Thank you. Important message. People are so busy trying to get by and survive, sometimes we don't talk to each other out there when we're out and about, and that's going to make what makes this change.
Yeah, Social Coast guys. He had his own website, which is really cool, but he got sort of bogged down.
My dad died when I
And
was
so he joined up with Social Coast, which is really trying to make a community calendar.
My mother's a great kid on welfare. And I just started collecting welfare when I was 24 because I had a pay for it. But
for certain things. So
20 years ago, in
I like
1992, we had a small increase in our welfare. And 10 years later, in 2010,
I've been working
we
on
had
it.
another, we were supposed to get a $100 increase in our welfare. We didn't even get half of it.
Right, yeah.
And now we're another 10 years down the road and we still haven't seen any increase in our welfare.
As much I'm working, just getting by. That.
Yeah, you can just go to a calendar.
Yeah. You just go. It's right there.
I don't have, I'm not on training. I get what's called PWD, persons with disabilities. But why, I don't have enough money to get by. I have to break up my check so I don't spend it all in billing dollars. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Doucette, the voice of our community, of all members of our community. Would anybody else like to come up while we're here?
We could get you. I was working with him, George. We helped get Ben Eichert elected. He was just like a powerhouse campaigner, literally. Just like.
Hi, everyone. My name is George.
Door-to-door sponsor.
I'm very excited. It's the first time I ever voted in a national election. I voted for the Conservative Party because I wanted to stick it to the Liberals. Boy, do I regret that now. And I made the mistake to vote Conservatives twice in the election, and now I am not voting Conservative for the foreseeable future, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go get Mr. Harper, but over that now, to get rid of Mr. Harper, which would build something good and decent in his absence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have to say. I have George to address the policy. Have a nice day.
Actually, I wouldn't mind one of those. That sounds good.
All right, everyone. Thanks for coming out today. It was great. great show of collective organization, and thanks to everyone. Call Elections Canada. We need a by-election.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Woo!